Welcome back to the CheekCast podcast. See, I told
Every
you.
time.
It's the Cheek. Okay. Welcome back to the CheekCast podcast, episode 8. It's blank because we don't need titles. You know who we are? We're rebels. We don't need titles. We're going to be talking about a bunch of random stuff today, including a bunch of new releases that are coming out. And one that I want to talk about off the rip, which is probably one of the most pay-to-win games ever, and that's Diablo Immortal. I've been seeing the reviews about this game, dude, and I've watched Critical. I've watched Asmin tear this game apart.
Was this their mobile game that they finally came out with after like 4 years ago, where they asked everybody if they had phones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have phones? It's the same game.
And everybody
Right.
booed when they said they were going to do a mobile game.
Because nobody wants a mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, if I wanted a mobile game, I'd play Genshin
We
Impact.
don't raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends.
I've been seeing people say it's costing around $100,000 or more.
Is that before they do like the conversion shit, like where they like go to Venezuela, use their money, come back, use real money? Sorry,
I have no idea, but it's a full pay to win. Like they say, they made it damn near impossible for you to reach max level unless you pay money.
Good lord.
And Asmin said, and I'm going to quote him: "People will spend the money. There are people out there who will spend over $100,000 on Diablo Immortal." He said this will happen, and it'll continue to fund the next game to do the exact same thing.
I've played games
and it'll just keep going.
A lot less IP than Diablo, and yeah, I've seen people spend like 50, 100 grand on those games.
Dude, people, and whales are just not. They're not like the best thing ever for any video game because they usually support really bad games to the point where people go, well, that's why people get into the mobile market for video games, because
there's
they
people
see
out
the
there
whales
throw money at this shit.
People are like, I don't have anything better to do. I got a phone. So they just start dropping cash money on everything, dude.
I just won the lottery. What's the first thing I'm going to do? Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid Shadow Legends. Speaking of, today this podcast is...
Imagine.
We're not sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Imagine using code Cheek for anything. Like we don't know. We don't drink G Fuel. We don't do any of that. I have a G Fuel can in my fridge that I need to do a review on that I just keep telling myself it's going to taste like shit. And that's why I keep not doing it.
You can use code Cheek at my house to set the alarm off.
You can use code Cheek at my house to get a free sun kissed from my mini fridge in my computer room. Enjoy. It might be a little wet on the top because our fridge is leaking. That's about the extent of what code Cheek will get you right now.
This is not warm. I mean, you open up a fridge and you get a warm thing. You're just like,
dude, that is depressing. That's depressing. You pick it up and like the can doesn't even feel cold. It feels like you've been holding it in your hand for a while.
It's terrible.
And then you drink the soda and it's just it's hot, bubbly liquid, and it oh god.
Ew, like all right, chill, Daddy, chill.
It feels like you're drinking carbonated lava, bro.
Oh my god.
I didn't mean to say it like
Don't
that.
ever say that again.
Hot, bubbly liquid. Probably the consistency and look of icing. Like pure white icing.
Word.
This is why I have to check. This is why I have to check the box where it says this is explicit content, because it is like that.
That's as close to explicit as you can get.
Okay. Diablo Immortal. I haven't played it. I'm not going to play it. I have no interest in mobile games like whatsoever. I think the only mobile game I play is Bloons TD6,
which isn't technically a mobile game.
No, it's just a Bloons Tower Defense game that I can play on Steam, and then I can just link the accounts and keep playing. I literally only play that when I have to take my car into the shop and I have to sit there for an hour. And it's like twice a year that I do that. So there's the only 2 times I play a mobile game.
Got a topic for you right now. Is Bloons TD pay to win?
No.
Nah.
I haven't spent any money on the game. I'm like a level 137 or something. And I play casually. I play on like hard mode on random maps, and I just play for fun.
Imagine how much further you would be if you had dropped $10,000 on it like day one though.
I could be level 10,000. I could literally spawn in round 2 with a super monkey because I spawned with so much gold.
Oh my.
Man, I missed. I should do that and unlock the sun god. Oh man. A lot of mobile games are pay to win though, from what I've heard. I don't play a lot of mobile games. That's probably more Thomas's territory than mine.
That's why I don't play mobile games. I have a problem with money. And
You just, if any games like that, you would just find a way to cheat out of it anyways.
That is true.
That's the other thing, is that it's so much cheaper to cheat than it is to pay through the Play Store. Sorry, I cheat. I don't play by the rules. Fuck y'all.
Thomas the Rebel. That's why I call him. Show me a little motherfucking salamander.
That's why
the
title
is silent.
got Rebel in it. I think it still got Rebel. I don't know. I didn't change.
We don't know. The title is nothing because we're rebels. That's what the problem is. That's what it is.
Bet.
We're rebels, so there is no title because we can do whatever the fuck we want. Right?
A title without a name.
Who's gonna come tell us what the title's gonna be? We can do whatever we want.
That's right. Cause I'm a renegade.
I'm a renegade. I was doing the TikTok dance in my head. I don't know how to do it. So I heard the renegade, and then I saw somebody else doing it because I don't know how to do it.
Oh my
god. Oh man. Jesus. I will say, Thomas, on the list of games, at least it has on here, we should play Evil West. Because that shit is like, it's on, I think it's on Steam. It kind of gives me like I think, is it out now? No. Wow,
no,
it comes out September?
Yeah,
Jesus,
September.
So far away.
That's not that far.
Approximately 3 months. However, it kind of gives me the like with a third person perspective, it kind of gives me the like almost like really good Unreal Engine Risk of Rain style. It looks like it's going to be somewhat of a roguelike almost. It's a gauntlet where you become a superhero in Wild West with like magic and shit. It looks awesome.
It does look
If you
good.
haven't seen it, you should go watch it on Steam.
Yes.
I don't know if you've seen it yet. It looks really good.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, they do. The gameplay's actually on there, and it's co-op, like I wouldn't say wave style, but it looks like some shit we would play. Like as a 3-stack, just run around and just mollywop some shit. It looks exactly like something we would play.
It reminds me of Remnant, but like
yeah, okay, that's better with the camera angle.
Yeah.
I mean, I just watched homie. If you watch a minute on that first one, homie just supercharged himself and literally uppercutted a demon and just started going ham on him.
Yeah,
like Murray from Stranger Things. And
interesting.
It's like online co-op, so it looks like it'd be really fun for us to play when it comes out. So I definitely want to give it a shot. But that style of game just, I don't know. That style of game speaks to me, bro.
Yeah, I thought it
just speaks to me. Upgrading perks, weapons, and tools, and then it's actually a story-driven explore and fight through a story-driven campaign to save America.
Hell yeah!
It looks like. Do you know what this game looks like? This game looks like what Outriders wanted to be.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's kind of
Yeah, that's what because it looks like it's going to be a way better version of Outriders.
As fun as Outriders was, it was a little grindy.
I mean, we didn't even finish it because it was just it kind of got boring.
It's hella grindy. I almost feel like we need to go back into it with our good friend Cheat Engine.
Yeah,
skip some of
that is definitely our good friend. Yeah, because that is Cheat Engine in any game. I know we don't promote cheating, but we don't promote cheating in online games where you can injure somebody else's experience. But if you play Remnant or anything like that, where Remnant's the one that speaks to me the most because you had to farm, if you've never played it before, to upgrade your weapons to max level, you had to farm Simulacrum. And Simulacrum only came from like 3 bosses, and it dropped rarely.
And it dropped 1.
And it dropped 1, and you needed multiple to upgrade. So we didn't want to do that grind. We did like 2 weapons legitly and then said, we're just going to fucking Cheat Engine submit just so we can enjoy the game. And that's what we did. And it was fun. I enjoyed that. It made my experience better. I think
you don't know
people
about
can
now,
cheat in story mode games if they want to cheat.
I'm
a
cheat if I get bored, you know? I want to see what the rest of the game is like. I'm not going to sit here and grind out your little monotony simulator that you got going on.
The thing that you tried to make the game arbitrarily longer. Hell no. It's the same thing we're doing with V Rising. That shit is like, it's arbitrarily hard for no reason. Because it's...
And you can't say that we ain't grinders. I got 2K hours in Path of Exile. I'm sure Bobo got like 8K hours in CS:GO. Like,
if only.
I got like over 1,000. I think my highest game still to date is GTA 5.
So you got GTA 5, you got Apex, you got...
Not even Rocket League?
Rocket League's up there too. It's over 1,000 as well.
Yeah.
This man is a grinder.
Yeah.
I love grind. Dude, I've sunk 100 hours into Borderlands in like the past month because all I've been doing is grinding for weapons. I like grinding. Grinding is fine. Farming is fun. But if you want to sit there and make it hard, like super duper hard to grind one thing that I absolutely need, that's stupid. Even more so if it's like a single player experience. Like Path of Exile, like you can't cheat engine that because it's all online. And that's fine. I don't mind farming for stuff in that game. Me and Thomas did that shit we would sit there for...
was fun.
We have days where we'd sit there for 8 hours and play Path of Exile sitting in the Discord chat. I don't mind that. I don't mind farming. But the moment you put me in a story mode game or a co-op story mode game and you're going to make us sit there for 16 hours to farm 3 weapons, hell no. I'm just going to fucking cheat that shit in sometimes. You know, I want to experience the rest of the game. Even more so if it's stopping your progression.
Oh, yeah. If it's stopping your progression, if it's stopping you from experiencing anything like
joy.
In the game.
Yeah, like
joy.
If it stops you from happiness, here's the suicide hotline. Like Borderlands, I'm not hacking shit in because it's not preventing me from progressing, right? But V Rising, maybe I'll give myself some paper because looking for getting 3 paper from 1 drop and I need 50, that's stupid.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is what it is. Granted, if you didn't know that, Thomas, the reason we're not playing V Rising online is they have nothing to prevent cheaters. So people just run around with infinite health and just kill everybody in PvP servers.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm not doing that.
I mean, I feel like if we went online, we would have gotten griefed anyways, just because...
Yeah, that's the main reason we didn't. I'd rather do PvE.
That game definitely seems like a grief-heavy online game.
I mean, it's literally like an isometric Rust.
Yeah, like I imagine you load into a server and you're level 1, you have no idea what's going on, and there's just some like level 1,000 dude just sitting there at the first graveyard. It's like, oh, you jumped down.
You know what that is, Lisa? Lisa can experience this.
Uh-oh.
That's Emerald Dream World of Warcraft starting a new character.
Yeah.
You take one step into Stormwind, some random rogue comes up and goes, and just pokes you in the booty with a dagger.
He goes,
That's exactly the sound it makes.
There were times when I was leveling characters and I'd be sitting there talking to Lisa. Somebody would run past me, like a Death Knight would just run past me and just blood boil just because he could. And he was like 50 levels higher than me. So that shit would one-shot me. And I'm like, what was the point? He didn't lose stride. He didn't even dismount. My man just killed me for no reason.
Yep.
It didn't even give him any honor.
he just looked at you crossways and he was just like, yeah, I want you to experience the pain I experienced playing this game.
Exactly. So then people go, why is everybody so toxic on fucking PvP servers? It's because they had it happen to them. And then when I got to the big boy stuff and I started running around doing the arbitrary shit, I would randomly kill Horde because I'm like, this happened to me. Enjoy, bitch. And I just fucking blood boil them and keep running.
True.
Yeah, Ragnarok had a private servers, right? And I only played one PvP server because of that, because I was leveling a new character, and I was in some arbitrary like map where like you can get decent EXP, right? And the thing about Ragnarok and leveling in Ragnarok is that you can get EXP from everything. Like, there's no diminishing returns. Like, you can sit there in level 1 areas and beat the shit out of level 1 areas. It's always going to be the same EXP.
I think that's pretty cool.
So you go to some other area that's like level 20. It's decent EXP, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, I'm trying to do my thing, and homie just comes up, beats my shit in. I'm like, cool, you're max level, and you're fighting me. Nice. Come back, he's still there. You know, you do that like 3 or 4 times, and you're like, all right, bet. I'm gonna come back on my, you know, my Giga homie.
Let me get on my main.
Let me.
Yeah, hold on. I'll be back on my main.
Hold up. Sit tight, friend. Like, so you bounce, you come back. oh, you ain't the same motherfucker. Oh, I am the same motherfucker that you was just beating on. I just got swole, got my strong on, and you just smack them around a bit. And because the people that sit there and do that have like no experience in playing against
They
somebody
have
who's
no idea how to fight.
yeah, against somebody who's done everything in the game 13 times over.
I remember Lisa calling me when I was max level on my Blood Knight or my Blood DK on WoW, and she's like, "This person's camping my body." I ran up, and it was 3 people, and I ran up as a tank.
Wasn't I a
and
healer? Wasn't I playing
yeah,
like priest or something?
But you just laid there and dead, and I can heal myself. So these people have no idea how to fight, and I run up on them, and they get bodied because they can't kill me because they have no idea how to play against anybody. They're used to one-shotting people and walking away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when somebody their level runs up to them, I'm fucking 1v3ing them, and they have no idea how to do it.
Yeah, I do recall that.
And then I proceeded to stand on top of their bodies and camp them when they would spawn until they eventually logged out and left Lisa alone.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh,
And she's
man.
done that. She's done that for me before too.
Yeah.
Because that was before they separated it completely, where you have to click a little icon to
War mode.
enable PvP.
Enable war mode, yeah.
But
Good old times, wow.
But that was the days where you got that shit done to you enough. And my God, speaking of WoW, I've been seeing stuff on Twitter and stuff. People going, if you could forget one memory in any video game and go back and play it again, what game would it be? For you, either one of you. If you could completely forget one game and go back and play it again.
Forget a game and play it again?
Any game you want.
I mean, of course, my brain does want to say WoW.
I knew what you both were going to say. I was like, I was going to say Ragnarok or Fiesta.
I'm like, as much as I loved Ragnarok, I loved all the people that I met through that game and whatnot. Actually, I probably would do that just for the people. But if I was able to bring those same people into Fiesta and do the same whole thing in Fiesta, I would.
Yeah.
I'd play Fiesta with Thomas.
But
if I could, I'd play Fiesta with Thomas. Thomas talks so much about that game.
The only thing that would have to change is the cash out. The cash out gotta go.
Of course.
Thomas talks so much about that game. I'd love to go back and I'd love to go play with Thomas and just see. I want to see Thomas in his natural habitat. Fucking glasses on, young with no facial hair, listening to old school K-pop on his iPod Shuffle.
On his Zune. His Zune.
On my Zune.
He listened to Ghetto Ice Cube and fucking he listened to.
I just remember how fucking poor I was back then. I didn't
E40, bro. E40. He listens to. I imagine Thomas fucking fiesting and going. All you hear is in the background.
I just did a cup on her booty.
I just did a cup on her booty. Water. And Thomas just sitting there going as he kills somebody playing Fiesta.
That's definitely
E40, bro.
Definitely Thomas. 100%.
Bro, I didn't even have like what was it the iPod like. What was the
Mini?
cheapest iPod that they had back in the day?
The Shuffle.
The Shuffle.
Because you had no control over the songs.
That's
it just
right.
Played. Mm-hmm.
No, you couldn't see. You had to just click.
You had to just hit play, and it was.
You had play, and then you had left arrow, right arrow, up for volume, and down for down volume.
Yep.
But you couldn't see anything. It was the smallest square. The only reason I know that is because I procured one from a friend.
I didn't have somebody I could procure one from. I was still the kid that had the CD player,
it, and then I moved.
I had the CD player too, Thomas. I feel that.
Yeah, I had the.
I had that. I remember that too. I remember when my
thick ass like battery pack on it.
When the no skip thing stopped working, where you couldn't like walk down the street because it would jump and then it would go get it because it kept stopping. I remember that.
Yeah, and then you turn your arms into like a gyroscopic fucking extenders, and as you were walking around, because you knew as soon as you took a single step, the anti-skip was gonna hit, and it'd be like
the anti-skip was not gonna work, and it was gonna and just stop again.
Side note: since we do have a live audience,
studio audience,
VJ mentioned flashbacks of LimeWire. You know what's funny, VJ? I never once got a virus from LimeWire. Not one time.
Bro, and Kazaa. The thing that pissed
Dude,
me off the
Kazaa,
most about them,
Pirate Bay.
Pirate Bay, dude.
anytime you put something in, the very first thing that would come up would always be XXX, whatever phrase you typed in, Eminem, piss on little girl, .mp3.exe, and I was like,
Dude.
True.
every single thing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Fucking, you're like, I'm looking for
that's exactly what I was looking
Backstreet
for.
Boys Space Cowboy, and it'd be like XXX Space Cowboy rides Eminem's nuts while he pees on little girl .mp3.exe, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm not clicking on that. And that's the virus.
Yeah. Yes,
And
it
the
is.
kids would be like, fucking Eminem pissing on a little girl.
I gotta watch that.
I gotta fucking see this, bro.
And it comes in EXEs, bet.
And that was back in the day when like all the pop-ups would just start popping up on your
Oh my
screen.
God.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it'd be like, and just start making noises and get popping up everywhere. Dude, I remember those. Because I remember my brother almost fried his laptop from those.
Dude, the wild
man.
west of the internet 15 years ago. Crazy. Back
Crazy
to
how far we've come in that little short time.
back to
Bro,
the
back when a
topic at
single
hand.
picture, it loaded in like fucking rectangles, like so you get like the top part,
Yes.
and then like the rest of
Yes.
it was white, and then the next part would come in, and then the next part, and I'll be like, I'm never
Yeah,
gonna be able to finish this, right?
those Candy Crush games now where you try to do it when you try to unlock naked women by completing the puzzles. That was how web pages loaded normally back in the day. It was the same exact way. That was one of those times you'd be like, shit, somebody sent me a picture. You click on the picture and be like, I guess I'm gonna go take a shit for 20 minutes. And then you come back and it'd be almost done. And you're like, oh hell yeah.
And then that one time when you come back and it is done, you're like, fuck, it's getting faster. Netscape doing its thing, bro.
Netscape doing its thing. Bro, Netscape, dude. Oh my god.
We're so old.
Yeah, I feel so old right now.
Kids gonna be like, the fuck is
But
Netscape?
what are these guys? A kid's gonna click on the podcast, just randomly finds it on YouTube and goes, dude, it's just 3 old people talking about fucking LimeWire,
These
bro.
fucking boomers, bro.
Dude, they're talking about old school. Wow. I wasn't even alive when Vanilla came out, and this bitch still owns a guild from then. Like, dude.
Bro.
My guild is older than our viewers. Good God. Oh my God. Help.
That's really funny. That's really funny though.
Oh
Dude,
no.
Okay, if any kids find this and it's just a bunch of old people talk and you manage to make it 23 minutes into the podcast, please let me know because that would be funny as shit.
Join us
If you
on our
have
Discord.
no idea if you have no idea what we're talking about, you can feel free to join us on our Discord and tell us because we have a podcast section there, so you can tell us how old we are.
Can you tell me what a
Tell us
rotary
that-
phone looks like without looking it up on Google?
For real.
If you could tell me what color LimeWire is without looking.
What do you do when you're done with a VHS tape? What's VHS tape? How about
Oh,
that?
lordy.
Can you when I tell you that a cup is roller rink color, what do I mean?
Oh my God. All right.
Oh,
Back
boy.
to the topic
How
at hand.
easy it is to break a Razor phone.
Oh, razors were, but they were so sleek.
My mom had a pink razor that
Of
she
course
passed down
she
to
did.
I bet you look
Of
so gangster with
course.
that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she had a pink razor that she passed down to me. I hated that fucking thing. My hands were way too big to use that thing. Oh man.
To the topic at hand. Third
Oh,
time's the charm. Okay.
We didn't even talk about anything on the list.
We're
so
getting
far.
there. We're getting there. Okay.
We talked about Evil West and then went to the Wild West of gaming.
Yeah,
the
straight up. We
internet.
just went off on a tangent like normal. A couple other games that were
Ooh.
on our list.
Okay, wait. Before I want to talk about routine first. The horror
The
game.
horror
routine.
game. Okay.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I watched the trailer of it, and anything with like contorted robots,
Yeah.
where robots have like a mind of their own, and start going like rogue.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you watched the trailer, Thomas, but you don't have to watch the whole thing. Skip to like 1 minute and just watch from there. The robot in the preview is so fucking creepy.
It's very creepy.
And the fact that it's a robot that's just moving around on its own is so beyond freaky. And the thing it does with its mouth where its whole head opens up, dude, I'm already in love with it, and it's not, I haven't even seen gameplay. It's not even out yet.
Yeah, apparently this was talked about a while ago. I don't know when exactly. But there was rumor of it, I guess, a year or two ago, and nothing ever came from it. And finally, a trailer was released yesterday or
that
today.
thing looks horrifying. If anybody's watching, and if even the live studio, which is Voltage and BJ, go look up Routine on YouTube. Don't even watch the whole thing because the whole thing's kind of slow. Skip to like 1 minute to 1:05 and watch from there.
Yeah.
Just to see the robot that's there, dude.
I mean,
anything like that in a horror game, I'm going to tell you the ones that scare me the most in terms of horror, it's real, like horror movies don't freak me out at all. But sci-fi horror games are some of the scariest games created.
Yes.
Period. And the fact that they managed to make a robot look scary is just terrifying.
Because you know what's going to happen is like 20 years from now, when we got like robot maze and shit, you're going to hear like the fucking, the little videos of like, you know, how they used to have like snuff videos or whatever, you know, just the fucked up shit. It's going to be like the robots just doing that shit, like Terminators with like their heads popping off and just being
creepy.
And all the horror games that we have on the list that we want to talk about today, I don't know what's going on with the horror shit, but a lot of it is sci-fi space horror.
A lot of it is.
And I know that's probably, I think these were all announced at the same time.
I can tell you why that happens, because it's the same thing that happens with like movies, like why like the same movie seems to always come out like at the same exact time, or like they come out like concurrently. It's because like when they have like these groups that pitch ideas, these people are going to company to company when they're pitching their ideas, right? And they put it in their backlog and blah 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 blah. They all talk and all that kind of stuff happens. So what happens is they kind of almost have like an intersection of where all these kind of games and all these ideas align. So that's why you tend to see a lot of the same exact formula being done at the same times.
Makes sense.
Granted, I will say, a lot of it's probably coming from the fact that the Callisto Protocol, I'm pretty sure, is made by the same people who made Dead Space. And the fact that Dead Space is getting a remake and they're releasing the Callisto Protocol around the same time.
Yes.
Or it got shown at the same time.
Right.
That's probably exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like these companies just kind of talk like that. So that's.
But like, there's so much shit like that. Like the one that's on the list too, which is Fort Solace. I have no idea what goes on in this trailer.
No, you don't know. It's very vague.
It's like, to me, Fort Solace looks like a psychological horror, just because you're stuck, right? However, there's two main reasons that I'm gonna play it. All right. One being the fact that the guy from Last of Us is playing somebody as well.
That's cool.
He's playing somebody in it. He's playing Troy Baker.
The guy from
and the guy who played Arthur Morgan are both in Fort Solace.
Fantastic.
As the two leading actors,
okay.
the two leading voice actors.
Ooh.
Is the guy from Last of Us, Troy Baker, who I'm pretty sure played Joel. And the guy who played fucking, like, dude, and the guy who played Arthur Morgan. Arthur Morgan's probably one of my favorite just video game characters ever, just in general.
Oh, Troy Baker, yeah. Yeah, I do like Troy
He's
Baker.
He's done a lot of voices.
Yeah, Troy Baker's done like Joel Miller. He's done Talion. He's done Uncharted 4. He's done he's the guy he's the voice of Booker, Joel, Batman.
Booker. Mm-hmm.
Samuel Drake. He's done all the big stuff.
Yeah,
He's a real. I mean, he's huge.
I mean,
Obviously,
that
he's a
alone
really
just
big.
tells you that like the quality of this game is
That
probably
they're
gonna
spending the money to make
Yeah.
quality games.
Absolutely.
The
Which
fact
they
that
should.
they got Roger Clark and Troy Baker to voice the two stars of the game,
Which
that's
they
going
should.
to be great.
And what's interesting, here's what's crazy. So I'd never even heard of Fort Solace. And I think is it coming out the end of this year or next year? I can't remember. But the trailers don't even have that many views. Like
1,200 views on a channel with 900,000 subs.
yeah, that's
A
what I'm
channel
saying.
that literally posts they post trailers. That's their whole thing.
So I thought that was interesting, but it did look good.
Granted,
it's
I will
big.
say that channel posts all the time, and they don't get a lot of views in general.
Yeah, but none of them, if you look it up in general, that
Yeah.
game is getting less than some of the other games that were announced.
But between that and Routine, man, oh man, I'm excited for the future of horror. I know the horror game that just came out, or is coming out tomorrow, The Quarry,
which we will absolutely
is,
play.
Dude, I am gonna play the fuck out of that game.
Are we doing it on stream? Because
that's an entire stream.
Yeah,
game.
I think
if you don't know what The Quarry is, if you ever played Until Dawn,
Until Dawn was amazing.
The Quarry is essentially
same format.
It's
story.
It's not the sequel, but it's the same style.
It's made by the same
except
company?
it's
yes.
Yeah, same company. So
decisions matter, and even more so, actually.
And when you talk about decisions, bro, I'm gonna tell you, the people who say decisions matter in certain games, when you think of decisions matter, bro, don't fucking think of like Witcher or Cyberpunk.
No,
because your decisions don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
When your decisions matter in a game like fucking The Quarry or Until Dawn, and you accidentally misclick something, that can change the entire outcome of your game.
Yeah. Until Dawn had like 8 endings or 9 endings
yeah,
or something.
And Until Dawn, you'd have like a series where you'd be running through like a forest and sprinting, and you had to click buttons at the right time so your dude wouldn't misstep. If you misclick that, he would die. Somebody else would die. If you chose left instead of right, somebody could die. Like, there's so many small choices that make a big difference in that game.
Which is nice.
And I think that makes a huge difference when it comes to like involving somebody in a horror game.
Yeah.
So between Callisto Protocol, which is the next game we're talking about, because that's the one I was talking about when it comes to another sci-fi horror game.
Which we knew about Callisto Protocol. We've talked about it before, but they released a new trailer, which is a long trailer. It actually shows like gameplay. It shows
the monsters and everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's perfect for right now, because the downside to a lot of horror games right now is it's a lot of just walking through empty space.
There's a lot of story, just straight narrative-driven horror, where you're hiding or there is no combat or anything like that.
Yeah, they call those walking sim horrors, and they're not bad. Like Outlast would be considered a walking sim horror, but it keeps you involved.
It is,
because you know you can't fight.
That is definitely an action horror game. You literally are moving constantly.
But like, you want to play something like sadly Visage in my is what comes to mind for me, because Visage was creepy, but it was like jump scare creepy, where something would happen, like somebody would peek around a corner, and yeah, that's freaky, but nothing's gonna happen, and then you just have to continuously walk around with nothing happening.
Layers of Fear is more like
Layers of Fear is another walking sim one.
However, it was really good. It was very atmospheric.
Yeah, it's freaky. But I think this is coming out at a really good time, because horror games are lacking right now. That's why I think The Quarry is going to do really well.
I hope so.
Because the fucking horror games are at an all-time low. Like, I've been waiting. I have so much stuff on my wish list.
Oh yeah, we have a ton of horror games.
That's just all horror, and you know what they all say? Coming soon.
Yeah. Because
nobody's releasing any horrors right now that are any good. I'm not going to say they're releasing horror. They're not. They're just not releasing any horror that's good. That's worth the time or the money to put in.
Nothing's really been scary.
No. But everything just says coming soon. Like Outlast Trials, that shit looks freaky as fuck.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
But it's gonna be a while for that to come out. Mortuary Assistant, it looks fantastic, but it's still got a TBA on it. So a lot of these games we just don't know when they're coming out, so we can't really, like TBA coming soon, 2022 coming soon.
Yeah.
It's just, I love horror games. So when I see all these horror things, like the new Aliens game,
Aliens
the
Dark
only
Descent.
problem with Aliens Dark Descent that I have is that it kind of looks like they're doing it kind of looks like they want to do almost a turn-based shooter with it.
It did give me that vibe, but I don't think it's supposed to be a turn-based. However, I mean,
Or
that
it's
just
supposed to
got
be like
announced.
a tactical shooter. Like I feel like it's gonna play like XCOM.
But
I feel
XCOM is
like
RTS.
but I feel like they're dropping the ball because Alien Isolation is such a good horror. The only problem with Alien Isolation is some of the sounds, like the constant alarm, gives me a headache. So I never got to finish it.
Yeah, I
But
really, sadly, you might be right. This might end up being an RTS game. It
and
just
I
got
hope not.
announced literally
I,
today.
I hope they don't drop the ball because people want another Alien Isolation. People want to know what happens to Ripley. They want to know what goes on in that story because apparently it was left open-ended. So they want to give her closure and actually finish that story out.
I don't think that's gonna happen with this one. I wouldn't think.
No,
Like
this
all
one
new
looks like an
characters.
entire spin-off of that kind of story, but I don't want it to be an RTS. But based
I
on the
think
trailer,
it looks like it is gonna be an RTS.
the world premiere reveal trailer, if you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. It's on YouTube. It just seems like that's what it's going to be. It seems like it's going to be a tactical shooter, whether whether it plays like GTFO or it plays like XCOM. It's not going to be a true blue horror.
Yeah.
They said, and I quote, real-time squad-based tactical combat.
That could mean a lot of things.
Yeah. But
Well.
it doesn't seem like what I don't think it's going to fit with like the first Callisto Protocol, Fort Solace, and Routine. I know it's not trying to be those, but with an Aliens game, I mean, what was the last one that they released kind of like? It wasn't like Aliens fucking something. It was like Aliens Combat or something.
Probably.
Aliens.
Whatever.
Aliens Fire Team.
Fired. Yeah, that was it flopped.
And it's not. I heard it wasn't a bad game. But I heard it flopped because it's not what people wanted.
Yeah.
Aliens are supposed to be the ultimate predator. They're supposed to be horrifying.
Predators are the ultimate predator.
They're supposed to be the ultimate. It's supposed to be. Shut up. Damn it! Shut up.
I love that movie series.
In the Alien universe, the aliens are supposed to be one of the best. The Xenomorphs are supposed to be one of the best predators.
They're the best hunters.
That's the right word.
But they have a predator that hunts them
they
for
have
sport.
A predator.
For the record.
But they're supposed to be one of the best hunters, and having just random fire teams come in and just body their shit with an AK-47.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see why people were upset about the game being bad.
Yeah.
It's not true to the lore.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get me started. Let's not. Don't even.
I love horror games, and I just feel like with Dark Descent, they're dropping the ball on what they should be doing.
It just got announced, so let's give it let's let it unfold over time.
As long as it's better than Aliens Fireteam Elite, bro, they can't go wrong. Actually,
that's true.
I mean, honestly.
And we mentioned Layers of Fear a moment ago. Apparently, Layers of Fear 1 and 2 are being remade in Unreal Engine 5. Which
Who's
is
it being remade by?
Same team.
An actual studio?
Yeah,
okay.
Same.
I was making sure they were I didn't want it to be like the Skyrim project where they're trying to import Oblivion Morrowind in by like random modders.
No, they said it's going to be in between a sequel and a remaster.
I mean, just the fact that people are willing to go back to their old games and recreate them in like Unreal Engine 5 is just going to be huge. That's just going to be, I feel like that's going to be just, I'm hoping it's going to be fucking fuego, man. Because I really enjoyed those games.
The trailer that they did for it looked really nice.
Thomas, another game you should look at, which is probably going to go on our Wild West wish list as well, would be called Witchfire. It looks like Witchfire looks like
I don't know what platform
Vermintide.
it's going to be on. I think it's on Xbox.
It literally looks like Vermintide, but with a blicky.
Mhm.
Like the same kind of art style, even magic, guns. I mean, to be honest, it looks kind of fire.
Oh, it looks
Can I
good.
put that
It looks
in?
good.
What?
Oh, you know what?
It
This,
looks good.
you know what this looks like? The fucking. You know how like
Oh, yeah?
back in the day you wanted Call of Duty to have some kind of like this shit, like where it's like kind of like an adventure more than just like you're running into a building, you're shooting some people around the corner, and then you move to the next corner to shoot some more people. That's what this
Right.
looks
Mhm.
like. This is the kind of shit I wanted, like Call of Duty-esque mechanics with a little bit of medieval shit in it. Like,
I
It
will
looks
say
good.
the only fucking problem with it, and I just saw it, is Epic Game Store.
whatever.
Damn it.
I don't care anymore.
That's the only problem with it. Me, I'm still gonna play it because it looks amazing. It looks like it's made in the new Unreal Engine. And it looks like it looks like it's about to be a fire ass game.
Well,
But-
hell
we'll
yeah,
see
he
as
did
it
that- He did the
unfolds.
little prayer thing before getting in the fight.
Dude, that
That's-
prayer thing
that's
before,
what
and then
I'm
he turns
about.
around. That shit looks
Let's
so
go.
cool,
We bringing
dude.
Jesus into this bitch. Let's go.
Dude, that looks so fucking cool, dude. That game gets me.
It looks good.
It looks really
good.
fun. It looks like
Especially-
that and Evil West will have a lot of fun with.
If that's gonna
Mhm.
be like an emote that you can just like do like anywhere, like
Oh, there's gonna be so
bro,
much
I'm gonna just like
dumb shit
stand
you
on like
can
the
do with
highest
that.
cliff I can be like and be like, Jesus take the wheel, let's go.
Jesus, take the wheel. Thomas gonna fire a pistol shot at a demon from a mile away.
Oh my
That's
god.
exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna fucking get the sniper from across the map, be like, hold up, stand still,
And then whiff it,
And-
and be
Thomas.
like,
And
fuck
watching-
you, moved.
And watching them play, it's you know what it's giving me a little bit. Like it's giving me first person V Rising vibes almost with like the way you have to dodge skills and shit. It looks really.
It looks good.
It looks the combat seems seamless. It seems like
it seems really smooth.
it seems like it's not actually pulling you out of the game or making you do like some arbitrary shit in the middle of a fight to be able to win. It just seems like you just get to run around and play. I think it looks amazing.
It does. I think it'll be interesting. Like I said, I watched these trailers and I was like, these were the ones that I wanted to mention because, like I said, Callisto Protocol we'd already talked about. But Witchfire and Fort Solis, I was like, these are new to me, so I'm gonna check them out.
I mean, Routine was new to me too, and that's
Routine
that
as
shit,
well. Yeah, apparently I
shit,
missed
it
that
was-
a couple years
It was
ago.
it was a minute and a half long trailer, and that shit captured me when I saw the monster, dude.
Yeah.
Seeing the robot and its mouth open like that is so freaky.
It looks like how, I mean,
Bro.
Five Nights at Freddy's is sort of like the meme robot game.
I was gonna say
It's
it
like
looks
the
what Five
real
Nights at-
version.
yeah, it looks like a serious Five Nights
Bro,
at Freddy's.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw that robot's like mouth like do its thing, my balls kind of like.
Oh no, Thomas, no!
Came up
The
beside my body
sound
for a
it makes
second.
where
I
it
was
goes, it's like it does that rattling noise too as it's like as it's trying to close its mouth, dude. Oh man, that's
It looks
freaky.
spooky. Not necessarily about any specific game, but I included this little link on here in our summary that apparently Xbox is announcing a partnership with Samsung in the near future to where you will no longer need to have an Xbox console to play games. There will be an app available on Samsung smart TVs to where you will essentially be able to play cloud-based games live on your TV rather than through a console, which
So
actually
how-
is kind of interesting.
I don't really
Like,
get
So
how,
how
it's
would-
gonna work, but yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. How would that work? Because I mean, a console is basically a mini computer, and it has to compute and
Like graphics,
read data and
stuff
shit.
that.
Like, how? What is your TV gonna do that now?
I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Yeah,
I
but,
don't think my
mean,
80-inch
that's a-
Samsung is gonna be. It's a nice TV.
Yeah, I don't know
but
if
it's not
my
gonna-
little smart TV that's sitting in the corner is gonna be able to do that properly.
It
Well-
might be like what Amazon does, where they let you quote unquote rent games on the computer, but they're playing the game on a machine that they
Isn't that
own.
Stadia?
Yeah, Stadia, I think it is. So
Possibly.
they're playing the game on
I
a
don't
machine that they
know.
own, and they're basically just casting it to you.
Oh, that's like the shit
Yeah,
that Steam does with
yes.
with the Steam thing where you plug it into your TV.
Yeah.
And it plays on your PC, but just shows you on your TV.
Well, see, what I was wondering, because it specifically says Xbox Cloud Gaming, so my thought was perhaps it's some.
Oh, no. I see it. Xbox plan, which still seems to be in place, albeit no longer in the immediate future,
Yeah.
is to launch Keystone as a small gadget capable of streaming Xbox Game Pass titles to any monitor or TV screen with no extra console hardware required.
But see, that's the thing.
So I still need a console. It's
So
just,
you
it's
just
a
They're still gonna
dongle.
buy some-
we don't know how much it's gonna cost. We don't know if it's a subscription. We don't know exactly what the gadget does.
Okay.
Can I load it on my
You know what I'm saying?
So I can already see it's the Steam thing because it literally says while the device, codenamed Keystone, has never formally been shown. Earlier leaks pointed to a mini box similar to a shrunk down Series X, which acted as a hub for Ethernet, USB, and HDMI ports. What they're doing is they're making a switch for Xbox that you can plug into your TV.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to. They're making a Steam. What was it called? Steam
Link.
A Steam Link. They're making that. They're making they're basically just making. Xbox is making a PSP. That's what they're doing.
Almost.
Except it doesn't. Instead of using its own monitor, it's just you have to stream it on your TV.
On your TV.
Can I just download an app on my phone and just cut the middleman out with this shit?
I mean, I'm just
True.
gonna buy a fucking Xbox because it's probably gonna be faster than that thing. Can you imagine how hot that little thing would get?
Well, see, the problem is the money, right? Like, so consoles are inflated with pricing.
We're playing GTA.
All of them are.
14,
Yeah, but
44p.
the thing is though, is if this thing can play the same thing as a console, why not? They're gonna price it the same.
That would be stupid of them.
Probably $100 less.
Then, but why would they make it if it can do the same thing as a console, and they're just going to sell it for less? It just seems like they should just make more consoles. Like,
I agree, but it could. It's an issue, I think, of getting the technology. Like, we're the shortage of technology, which they said this isn't happening in the immediate future, anyways, and it could be proprietary. I'm not sure. I thought it was interesting. It's different. It is.
I'm curious to see what happens because they're saying they're launching it on Samsung TVs on the 30th of this month.
Yeah.
And you can launch from a new gaming hub. From there, connect your Bluetooth-enabled controller, log into your Game Pass Ultimate account, and start playing.
Yep.
Hmm.
So, yeah, thought that was interesting.
I am curious to see how that goes because I just don't know how that's going to run. I feel like it's going to be another one of those things where, do you remember when people were saying their Xboxes were catching on fire? I feel like the same thing's going to start happening with people's TVs because they're going to try to play Sea of Thieves through Game Pass Ultimate, and suddenly they're fucking their TV.
Bro, I tried to charge my Samsung Galaxy
and
my TV caught on fire. What the fuck?
They're gonna have 7,000 ping because they're trying to play on Wi-Fi through a TV that only gets 2.4 fucking. That doesn't even get 4G. Like, it's gonna get 30 frames a second, and it's just gonna spontaneously combust.
We'll see.
Which I hope not, but
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I hope.
I mean, I kind of just wish that there was some sort of already powerful device that probably already in most people's homes, where you could do shit like this.
Well, I mean, when are we ever gonna have something like that?
I'm gonna tell you, I wish there's one thing, being completely serious, that I wish never came about, which was farming Bitcoin or farming crypto in general.
Yeah.
Because the fact that people can farm crypto and everything's so inflated means that all the new people who are like, man, I really wish I had a PC. I want to play PC. They can't because it's $1,000 to get a fucking 3070 or some shit.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Bro, that's rent money.
Exactly. I mean, that's a whole ass mortgage for some people.
Yep.
For one graphics card.
Yeah, that's gonna get completely outdated in 1 year.
Yeah, once Unreal Engine 5 comes out, bro, I'm gonna have to upgrade.
We're all gonna have to upgrade.
And it's just, I feel bad because there are people who watch me, people who come into the Twitch and say, I wish I could get into PC, I just can't afford it.
Which is true. You can't. I mean, we can't
And
upgrade. We can't even get parts as backups.
no, like my streaming PC is dying, and I can't even fix it because it's barely it's on its last leg, and it's $700 for a 3070 when you can buy one from Nvidia for $400. Because people are just inflating the prices because they're all used for just they're all used so people can make a small amount of money every day.
Yeah.
Farming something that is probably going to get shit on eventually.
That'll be taxed, but that's another story. You know what I'm saying?
That's another story.
It's another story for another day. One of the questions I had on our summary here was, what is our unpopular opinion on video games or a specific game, and why?
Well, we touched on Thomas's because I can see it, and his is you need whales, but fuck those guys. Which I agree. You do need whales because whales is what keeps certain mobile games running.
All right, explain for the people that don't.
So if you don't know what a whale is in terms of video games terms, Thomas.
Somebody that spends a
Thomas plays mobile games, so he knows more about it.
I used to. So I used to spend like a fairly hefty amount of money on some games, and no, kids, it is never worth it. It is never worth being a whale unless you got like way more disposable. Like you could wipe your ass money. If you got wipe your ass money, you could be a whale.
Unless you're the guy from who's the Saudi prince who got into CSGO skins because he had too much money, so he just started buying the most expensive shit he could afford.
Yeah.
Because they were like, you need to spend this $16 million in the next 2 months. So he's like, okay, I'm making a $5 million inventory.
Jesus, bro, I'm right here. You could just hit me with an email saying that you a Saudi prince and that you need to send me $18 million to hold in taxes, and then I give it back to you.
I was telling Lisa about this guy, and he would hit up people, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care. If you don't know who the guy I'm talking about is, if you've ever heard of the guy on Steam named Stack, ST4CK.
Nope, don't care.
He's Saudi royalty. Nobody knows who he is. They just know he's Saudi royalty because he said he is. And the man is like level over 5,000 on Steam. And you know why he did that? Because he could.
Yep.
And he said it costed him hundreds of thousands of dollars to buy the cards. And he would just ask people for the cards, and he'd offer them a ridiculous amount of money. And people who would help him find CSGO skins, he just would randomly hit them up and be like, what's your PayPal? And then send him $1,000. Lisa's like, I can help him find some skins if you want to send me some money.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, dude, hit me up, bro. I'll find you a fucking M9 Bayonet Sapphire. Perfect. Perfect corner.
I'll procure anything you need for a couple $1,000.
Yeah, you want to hook a brother up, bro? Come on. Stack, you need some help?
Absolutely.
I looked right at the camera like I was actually about to help.
You're not streaming. Stop looking at the camera.
But that's the definition of a whale. And
that's
as much as
even whales have tears. Like that's the legendary flying orca from.
That's Moby Dick.
That's the motherfucker from the end of the Game Boy game of Zelda.
But as much as we don't need those guys, we do, because they fuel the economy. They keep the money flowing. They keep the skins moving.
Sadly.
There's some skins out there that people probably never bought. And if you're talking about mobile games, those games might not still keep moving if the whale didn't exist. If they're not spending the money, that mobile game might not have servers to keep playing. So you need them, but at the same time, they're the reason that mobile games are so predatory in terms of microtransactions.
You know what? That ain't even an unpopular opinion. That's just facts. You know what I'm saying? That's
everybody knows mobile games are. I mean, he's probably one of the few people in the world that could probably get to max level in Diablo Immortal.
Yeah,
Homie's out here with multiple accounts. Like, I'm just raiding by myself.
Dude, I'm just funny. It's me on 6 different phones. Like, all right, Lisa, what is your video game unpopular opinion, and why?
I'm really upset that Poe's not here listening to this, because I had a few in my head, but the first one I'm going to lay down that our community knows I'm going to say is Monster Hunter is terrible. Okay?
Oh, is this something where we're pissing Poe off? One Piece is shit.
You're gonna make a lot of people mad, Thomas.
Thomas, you're gonna get us canceled. No, Monster Hunter, as it is today, right? Like when they announced the new Monster Hunter years ago now, I was excited because I was like, oh shit, I played Monster Hunter way back in the day, and I was
I mean, I played
excited.
it on PSP too.
Yeah,
so
I was like, that sounds kind of fun. And then I remember seeing it at E3, and they were like, it's gonna be open world, it's gonna be, um, so many promises, and I was like, shit, it's dinosaurs, bro. It's open world. I was so
I
excited.
mean, it's essentially Pokemon, but you gotta put the boxing gloves on.
Yeah,
Like,
and I was excited, and then we got the flu, and you bought it because I was like, you know what?
I
It's a
bought
new
Monster
game.
Hunter World.
Yes, Monster Hunter World. And within 20 minutes of you playing that game, I absolutely hated it.
Same.
I really didn't like it, and for multiple reasons, including the fact that it was not an open world game at all. It is a limited map game that looks open world, but it is a limited map game, and it is really rigid in terms of quest, and it is very grindy. And I can say it's a very beautiful game. I can say that it's a well-made game. I don't discredit the studio who made it. I just think it's shit in general.
She thinks it's dog shit.
I could never I could never refund it, and I never put any time into it, and I
Now, see, from a perspective of somebody who's played both Rise and World, and I have
400 or 500 hours in them.
Let me take a look real quick at how many hours I have in both. I don't think I have as many in Rise as I do in World. Only have 75 in Rise.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure in World
I think
I
you're
have
like 300.
I'm 10 off of 3. I'm at 290.
Yeah.
Right. The only thing I will say is she's right. The map, the fact that you have to constantly go back to base and then just re-pick a mission and then go back out and fight the thing and read that's annoying. It kind of breaks the immersion and breaks the feel of the game.
Exactly.
It is very grindy, but it is a very beautiful game. The problem with it, right, is I don't like the DLCs of the game. And the main reason that I don't like Monster Hunters is I feel like I waste my time when I play it. Like I played Rise for 75 hours. I've done a lot of stuff in it, but all that shit is going to be non-existent when Sunbreak comes out. That's the new DLC that's getting ready to come out at the end of June. When that comes out, if I farmed an end game monster, I could farm a god in the base game. The new DLC comes out, I'm going to kill a horse and put its hoof on the end of a stick and slather it in peanut butter, and it's automatically stronger than the dragon thing I got from the god dragon.
Yeah.
Because it's new DLC.
Yeah.
I think the way they do that is stupid.
Yeah.
And it makes me that's why I haven't touched Rise since I haven't touched Rise in like almost a month because of that.
Yeah.
What if that peanut butter was legendary peanut butter?
Shut up.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't even have to be bro, that shit, it could be fucking, I could eat glue and spit it out onto a stick, and that stick is going to be stronger because it came from Sunbreak.
Yeah.
And and that kind of and I'm going to pick up some leaves and put mud on them and then paste them over my chest. And suddenly that's better armor than the base game armor of the scales of the dragon that I killed.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I hate about Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Is the fact that there's no point in me playing it because the DLC is going to come out and everything I've done before that is irrelevant. Non-existent.
Yeah. Now
and that makes me sad.
Imagine if they took a game inspired by Monster Hunter, but combined it with the actual open world-esque feeling of something like a Horizon.
I mean,
Horizon Zero would have been
essentially Monster Hunter on fucking steroids.
Yeah, but you can't capture anything. Like
no.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if you combined Monster Hunter with like Horizon Zero Dawn with the cinematography of that would be an epic game. I would get behind.
In that game that I disliked that you never got to ride the giant. What was the giant one called? The thunder dinosaur motherfucker.
The Stegosaurus looking one?
Oh no,
Yeah.
the Thunderjaw.
The Thunderjaw?
Bro, I
You
was
don't get
always
to
like,
ride him.
I
You
just,
only get to slide under him and shoot his coochie.
I just
Yeah.
want to ride him once. No homo.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, you should. It would have been amazing if you could have done any of them in terms
Oh,
of
yeah.
riding them.
Even if
That
it was
would
just
have
like
been
one
insane.
special
might-
mission where you just bust
you
in
might
some
get to
motherfucker's
in the
crib,
new
just
one
like,
because you might get to in the new one. I just haven't finished the new one. I haven't even really played it that much
don't
because
nobody spoil it
I'm
for me.
sorry, but whoever releases Horizon Zero Dawn and chooses the release date,
They chose
you
the
need
worst
to be
time.
you need to be feathered, tarred, shot in your foot, and thrown out back because you
real.
release them at
Worst
the
time.
worst fucking times.
Yeah.
If you don't know when my boy has been releasing Horizon Zero Dawn, right?
It was Horizon Forbidden West.
Well, I'm saying Horizon Zero Dawn. What came out at the first one? The first one came out with like 3 days before Breath of the Wild.
Rough.
Legitimately
Yeah.
3 days before Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Oh
rough.
yeah, because
Who-
all these game
who-
companies
who-
they compete with each other like that, or they think that.
Yeah, but what? Just delay it. Like people are obviously they're not going to play Horizon Zero Dawn because Breath of the Wild came out. That's such a much bigger name than
the
that.
IP
Yeah.
is so
And
much
then
larger.
Forbidden West came out fucking 2 days before Elden Ring did.
Which was a
And-
mistake.
Exactly.
A mistake.
So like Forbidden West is a fan. It was a fan.
If they
Dude,
would have
the
waited
story was
30
great.
days. 30 days.
It would have been phenomenal. It would
People
have
would
been
have gotten tired of Elden Ring and they would have said, I need something else open world. Let me
and
go
that
to
would have
this.
solved it.
Yeah.
But the fact that
mistakes.
you released it a couple days before Elden Ring, you need to be feathered and tarred and thrown out back. Whoever decided that,
Seriously, that was a
because
mistake.
you're destroying the game, and that sucks
Yeah.
because that game is really good.
But again, go back
My-
to that. I'm still saying, imagine a Horizon game blended with a Monster Hunter. That I would get behind personally.
If only they would do that.
What is your unpopular opinion? You have
I don't
many
think people- I
people
don't think
hate
people-
you for it, so go
Dude,
for
I
it.
have so many opinions, and it just makes
They're
it
all
makes
wrong.
people it makes people upset.
I just felt like clapping.
Because I shit talk. I talk about a lot of stuff on TikTok, and it's interesting because people get mad at me for my opinions.
Yes, they do.
My opinion is I don't think people play video games for fun anymore.
What?
And the reason I say that is because everybody wants to be a pro, and apparently everybody who streams, because streaming is very big, very, very big. Streaming and YouTubing and all this content creation stuff is a really big thing nowadays. And people seem to think that they need to be the next Jesus Christ in a video game to make a good content. To make a good content, a single good content, they need to be God.
Yeah.
And people don't think about playing for fun anymore. They don't think about it's the reason that all these BRs like Warzone and Apex and all these big name titles, just people aren't having fun anymore, is because everybody's trying to be the best.
Yes.
And people seem to have lost sight of the fact that video games are supposed to be fun. And not everybody has 12 hours a day. Like I hear people, content creators mostly, and I'm not going to say any specific names, but they come out of the woodworks and say, if you want to be good at Apex or you want to be good at Warzone, you need to play 12 hours a day. To me, that's stupid because that's not true. Like, I understand, but people work jobs. There are normal people out there.
Yep.
Those people come home and then they want to hop on the game and they're like, okay, I just put my 2 kids down for a nap. It's bedtime for them. It's 9:30. I got 2 hours to play before I need to go to bed because I got to get up at 7 for work tomorrow. Right?
Yep.
They hop on and they face 16 different 16-year-olds who are trying to go pro in Apex, Warzone, fucking Valorant, and they get absolutely raffle stomped by these people. And they go, I don't want to fuck play this game anymore, dude. And you know what they go play? Literally anything else. And then
the story games let you down half the time.
yeah, because the story games have no fucking soul anymore.
Yeah. And speaking of talking about games and their problems, do we feel like games today, in this day and age, today, PC, console, whatever you want to look at for platforms, mobile, I don't care, are games today better or worse than they were in their infancy? Like when
They're better.
You
Yeah.
still think so? Even now,
I'm gonna say they're better, and all of the bad things between companies being predatory and trying to make more money and having people pay for early access, which is just, early access is essentially you paying to test the game.
yeah, it's pay to
Like,
test. Yes, people don't realize
the games are better, but people are greedy, and nowadays people are impatient. So a lot of companies go, "Oh, we're not going to be able to hold this game because everybody's going to hate it when it comes. If we hold it for too long, we're going to lose the hype." Like, that's what happened with Cyberpunk. If Cyberpunk would have held that game for another couple months and just worked on it, it would have came out. And it's the same thing with No Man's Sky. These people want to release the games early because they want the money and they want the hype, and then it gets shit and thrown in their face.
Yep.
The games are phenomenal now. The engines are so good, but the communities surrounding these games are hands down the worst they've ever been, and they are never going to get better.
So let me throw something out there. This is more of like an open-ended discussion. So in the 90s, right? I mean, I could say 80s because, you know, like you had arcade games and stuff like that, but I won't even go back that far. Like actual video game times, early video games, Nintendo system, right? Like the NES, PC games, your PlayStation 1s, your Dreamcast, your early gaming games. Um, Growing up with those games and those consoles and you know that we as kids enjoyed everything we got. Like, we were so happy to have a new game to play. First off, we couldn't afford to buy them all. Like, so you'd play the
You
same
got
game.
one. You played for a year.
You play it for you play it all summer. You wouldn't even get another game until Christmas, your birthday, whatever it was. You loved any game that you got, and it was like a blessing that you were like, oh, a new game's coming out. I'm gonna save up money and I'm gonna get it. And we waited for them. We looked forward to, oh, there's a release near my birthday
You had to
in the
walk into
summer.
Toys R Us, get that little slip. You took that slip home for you. You came back on the date it said when they had it on stock.
You put your $5 down.
So we're nearing the end of the podcast. We've been going for over an hour, and it's been really good content the whole time. I'm going to lead us on a cliffhanger and a question.
Dun dun.
Okay, and it's going to follow what Lisa just said. Okay. Back in the day, we really enjoyed video games because that's what we had. That was the beginning of us learning that video games were supposed to be a release. It was supposed to be a dash of serotonin when you would beat a level that not a lot of other things could give you, right? Nowadays, you have your pick of the litter with whatever game you want, whether it's a free-to-play game with microtransactions, whatever. And the communities are very, very poor now. They're very, not money poor, but they're like attitude poor. They're fucking, people's attitudes are dog shit.
Yes.
Right? I'm not going to make this a question, but this is going to lead into the next podcast. I'm going to state that I think content creation as a whole has ruined video games forever. Period.
Okay.
I wholeheartedly believe that. And if you're curious as to why I think that, we can talk more about it next week.
Hell yeah.
I thought you were going to do the Sopranos ish where you just stop mid-sentence and the whole thing.
And then just hit stop? No. I
I
think streaming and content creation as a whole has ruined video games.
All right, we will talk about it next week. That sounds good.
I think content
if you
creators
think so,
who are just
if you have
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Next
if you have a thought about it, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to leave whatever you think. We'll talk more about the Apex Championship coming around July 7th, because July 7th they're doing a LAN in North Carolina. I'm not going to say the city, because I always mispronounce it and Lisa always corrects me.
Raleigh.
So we'll talk more about that next week. We were going to mention it today. We have tickets and hotel booked, so we will be there. If you're going to be there, we will be there. We'll talk more about that next week. And yeah, thanks for joining us on episode 8. If you have anything that you want to say in terms of comments or anything, content creation and streaming has ruined gaming as a whole, and we'll talk about that next week.
Join us
You
on
guys-
Twitch, Discord.
Join us on Twitch, Discord, TikTok. I have a Twitter.
OnlyFans.
I'm working on fixing my Instagram, and this podcast will be on YouTube as well. YouTube, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We're working on getting other platforms, but some of them have just not been working for me when I try to sign up. So appreciate you guys joining us today. Appreciate the live audience being Voltage and BJ and Voltage nonstop talking and chat and interacting. I think that's fantastic.
Amazing.
I hope one day we get to have some some guests on. Like I want to get Blacksmith on. We can
Hell
take
yeah.
callers and answer questions. I feel like that would be cool.
Yes.
One day we'll talk about how I managed to get to the point that I'm in, and Thomas will be here for that because Thomas was here at the very beginning of that as well.
Started from the
What?
bottom.
Yeah,
Now we're a little bit higher than that.
started from the portal videos, and now we're slightly hovering off the ground. Vecna has my throat, and he's just starting to lift me, and I'm getting ready to ascend. But anyway, you guys have a nice night. This is episode 8. No title because we don't need a fucking title. Have a good night, boys, and we'll see you next week.
Be easy, people.
Bye.